Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, taking your questions on Idalia as I got a live look behind me here from the battery in Charleston. It is windy, it is rainy. I've got gusts here that are approaching 60, 70, 75 miles per hour. The sustained winds around Idalia right now at about, let's see, 70 miles per hour. You can see the ocean is angry right now. Well, I can tell you, it's coming up here on this live broadcast. We're going to walk you through the rest of Idalia. We've been tracking this storm system all the way from Florida, and as it rolls toward the Carolinas, our biggest concern is really right now through the next hour as the tide is rising. Look at this angry ocean here, crashing those waves over the battery right there. This is a fierce storm moving through Charleston right now. The eye is also coinciding with the high tide, which is a spring tide. Wouldn't you have it? That's some luck, right? So the eye is coming through at the same time as a full moon, making the high tide extra high. So we're going to have a live look from our Rashad Williams. He's live and local down in Charleston here in the next probably 3 minutes. So what you're going to see here is we're about to do a live broadcast on television as well as here on the web. So you're going to see us go to black here in a few seconds. Whenever that does, just know that we're still here. We're about to do our live broadcast and then come back up. But man, things are ripping and roaring right now in Charleston. Right along the battery. It's an angry, angry sea right now, and it's going to be continuing to get a little bit higher through about 8, 9 o'clock as the storm surge ramps up and these winds continue to ramp up. So we're going to be unraveling this and kind of look back at this with a full live report here in just a second. But our TV portion's what, 30 seconds away, Ben? 45 seconds? So we're about 40 seconds away from the live television portion of this. So save your questions. I've got all the streams up kind of over here to the side. YouTube and Facebook will be able to answer your questions live and be able to kind of help unpack what's happening right now. I know many of you have family along the coast. Maybe you're on the coast right now. We're going to unpack it for you, including the Labor Day weekend forecast. We'll be right back in about 15, 20 seconds as we're about to go to television. Right, Ben? I think 20, 15 seconds. All right. We'll be right back. Hi everybody, Chief Meteorologist Justus here in the Weather Center tracking Idalia right now. You are looking live at downtown Charleston near the battery right here, an angry ocean as the eye of Idalia approaches Charleston at high tide. And it's a special high tide because of the full moon, the spring tide, so it's extra high. So we're going to continue to watch that closely. Locally, we've got the rain pulling away. As we expected, it is not severe across the western Carolinas, but a different story as things are really ramping up along the coast right now in Charleston through Myrtle Beach. What is going to be a rough couple of hours here as that eye crosses right over. Speaking of Charleston, our own Rashad Williams is live and local right now in Charleston. Rashad, you've kind of been seeing that battery get more and more rough. Tell me, what are you seeing right now where you're at?
Well, Chris, I love the phrase that you used, angry ocean. It's one thing to talk about it. I've got a front row seat to it, and I'll share it with you. I want you to come over here real quick. Our photographer, Lauren, is doing a great job braving the storm here. Okay, so at this point, the water is already up to the seawall. There you go. You can see it coming over. We've spoken to a few locals today, and they've all told me that this seawall was just raised 2 or 3 feet recently to try to avoid some of the massive flooding that they deal with on some of the back streets and residential streets here near the battery. So again, I want to give you one more look. The angry ocean, the waves are high, they're aggressive, they're coming in quick. And this was not this high, say, just an hour ago. So again, this is coming quick. We're going to continue to monitor this as the water spills over. It is going into the road. One more thing I want to mention, there are pumps out on the streets you can't see from where we are right now. 2 different pumps. One of the pumps has completely stopped working, right? So the other pump is having to pick up the slack for the other one, and it's pumping water out at rapid speeds. With the water going into the ocean, that is only adding to it as the water continues to spill over. So Chris, we'll continue to watch this system. I believe I've lost you. We'll continue to watch this, and I'll send it back to you.
Rashad, incredible to see the power that Idalia still has. And this is a tropical storm at this point. Can you imagine when it made landfall in Florida? Cat 3, almost a Cat 4. Yeah, the latest advisory just came in. 65-mile-per-hour winds. It's pushing toward the north right here through Charleston, where it's going to continue to move its way through the coast right here. I've got a brand new track in from the National Hurricane Center, which shows it's going to move right through Charleston. That eye is going to continue to move right over. The eye's not over him yet. I mean, we're getting there, but that 65-mile-per-hour sustained wind is still about an hour or 2 away. Of course, Rashad's going to be live later on tonight at WYFF News 4 at 11 o'clock, so make sure you tune back in. We'll be checking back in with him. Hopefully, as the tide goes back down after this 8:30 high tide, things will begin to improve there at the Battery. But we do have severe concerns besides just the wind and the flooding. There was an active tornado on the ground in Wilmington, North Carolina, just about 15 minutes ago. There remains a tornado warning, but it's radar indicated right now. Some of those mean bands on the outer edge of Idalia coming into North Carolina right there, where there remains a tornado watch for most of the Outer Banks. Again, we're on the west side. Anytime you're on the west side of a tropical system, it's the more friendly side, the gentler side, and we're going to continue to watch this closely. Our rain chances are ending quickly. Flood warnings from I-95 to I-26. If your travels take you that way, folks, it's best just to let this thing get on out of here tonight. Do what you got to do tomorrow, and we're looking at a beautiful forecast Thursday through Labor Day weekend. Just kind of let things calm down here tonight as we're watching this closely. Look closer here. There's Wilmington. There's that tornado warning that we have for Wilmington. It was a confirmed tornado just a moment ago. They do not have ground confirmation anymore, but it was right there at the top of the hour. Back here at home, live Super Doppler 4 continuing to watch out for our area. We're watching the rain that's moving through the area. We do have flood watches for Greenwood, Lawrence, and Union County as we're continuing to watch our area closely. The severe concerns are not for our area, but they do remain from Hilton Head Island to Charleston to Myrtle Beach through Wilmington as we're watching these areas closely. The spaghetti models here show this is quickly moving away from the United States, which you can count on here throughout the rest of the evening. Coming up tonight at 9 o'clock, we're going to have another update breaking in just to let you know where Idalia stands right now. We've got tornado concerns, we've got storm surge concerns, and I know so many of you have family that live at the coast, Charleston and Myrtle Beach. We're going to walk you through this storm as it goes all the way along our coast here and then gets out of here. We'll have much more at the top of the next hour. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We just finished up our TV programming there. Now I want to get back to our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter live right now to answer your questions. And we hope Rashad is with us. The connection coming in and out, he is there, getting a thumbs up. Here's what it looks like first from this sky cam sitting up above the Battery right here. You can see, just look at the white caps right here, first of all, looking out. And then look, every once in a while, you'll see a wave crash over that seawall. And I got to tell you, just guessing here, but I think some of those, at least the waves crashing up over, probably 10, 15 feet up in the air. I mean, it's really coming in hard in there. There goes one right there. Let's check in with Rashad Williams right now. Rashad, you have kind of been in the thick of this. Tell me first what you're seeing right now. Then I have a couple of questions about just what's it like in the day of a life of a reporter on the coast in a hurricane. There's a lot of folks that want to know what it's like to be you right now.
All right, happy to answer your questions. As far as what we're seeing right now, I'll give you another look. I don't know if everyone saw the TV portion, but the seawall is being intruded by the ocean here. Just within the last 2 to 3 hours, we've really seen a drastic increase in the level of the ocean here. It's really, it's become swollen almost, is a good way to describe it. But as the water continues to come over the seawall here, we were also told by a lot of the locals that this was just elevated 2 or 3 feet to try to avoid some of the flooding, because this is a heavily flooded area, very prone to flooding. So, everyone was excited when this was elevated, but we have seen people nonstop coming to just get a glimpse and get a look. Shorts and t-shirts on. I don't understand that. I couldn't do it, but everyone here says it's normal. They're used to it, and this is all a part of living in Charleston. As far as what it's been like as a day in the life of a reporter, so we got up at 8 a.m. this morning. We went out and observed a collection site for sandbags. This job allows you to step into other people's shoes and to try to understand what they're going through. A lot of people were frantic trying to get the sand collected before this portion of the storm came in. So to see perspective from start to finish up till now, now that the storm is here, it's incredible. And this is my first time in a hurricane, so it's eye-opening for me as well, Chris, and I hope that answered your questions.
It does, Rashad. I got to tell you, the service you're providing viewers right now, it really hits home with how powerful these storms are. Tell me, did it surprise you now that the eye is getting closer to you? You've certainly been in winter storms, you've been in severe weather, but tell me, this hurricane, tropical system now, as it moves your way, how has it surprised you, just kind of how it's behaving both with the water and the wind?
I really didn't know what to expect. You hear the warnings, right? And we were very well aware that the ocean would start to rise. It's one thing to hear it, but again, it's another thing to see it. And since we have been out here since 8 this morning, I got to see the progression for myself. So to be able to see the way the ocean elevated at the pace that it elevated was really incredible to me. For perspective, I mentioned this earlier, we saw a few dolphins and they were so close I felt like I could reach my hand out and touch them. That's how high the water has been, because it's right here and it's right in your face. The winds and the rain and the way the wind is moving the rain toward you, it feels like, you know, nothing I've ever felt. I don't want to say it's painful, but you feel it and you know it's here. So these storms, you definitely want to take these serious, and again, you get a better understanding for that when you're in it and not just watching it on TV. So the warnings of stay inside, don't go out, it's real, and you have to adhere to those, because, you know, this is not fun. It's our job to bring this to you. It's not fun being in this. I'm sure you can see, again, the ocean crashing in, but yeah, it's an eye-opening perspective to be front row to it.
Rashad, thank you so much for that report. You and Lauren, be safe out there. We're going to continue to keep you informed. Get some rest, dry off a little bit, okay?
Hey, will do. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate all you do as well.
You know, Rashad was right there in Charleston today when we had 3 tornado warnings all around Rashad. And our commitment to WYFF4 is to inform you, but also of top of mind is our employees' safety. And when it comes to our safety here at the station or the crews out and about, we're always going to err on the side of caution. And Griffin and I were zooming right into where Rashad was. He got to safety, and then the tornadoes, the threat for them were all around him. So keeping a lookout for him in Charleston, as well as what we're looking out for here at home. Thankfully, here at home, it's been nothing like this. But yeah, what an angry look to the battery right now as you continue to see those waves crash up and over where Rashad's at here. And it's going to be a rough couple of hours here. Here at home, we've got winds at 21 miles per hour. It's got some rain. We've got some wind along the coast here, Hilton Head Island to Charleston to Myrtle Beach, 30 to 40 mile per hour winds as you roll on through here. Augusta is kind of the back edge of this. We're going to continue to see this slowly push out. You know, you just saw what it looked like right there with Rashad. 65 mile per hour sustained winds, a tropical storm. Can you imagine what it was like earlier today with winds up to 125 miles per hour sustained? Just incredible, the power that these storms have. This is pulling toward the north right here, Charleston to Myrtle Beach. Heavy rainfall right now, and as we look a little bit closer, the back edge of this, got some heavy downpours in metro Atlanta right now. Hilton Head to Charleston, seeing some of that. Beaufort, Savannah, Richmond Hill. It's been a rough day, but the worst of it's now past. We're going to see this move through Charleston. It's going to be rough for about another couple hours in Charleston. Then it's Myrtle Beach's turn between 9 p.m. and midnight, and we're going to see things really ramp up then. Now, tomorrow morning when you wake up, things are going to look a lot different across the southeast. We do still have tornado concerns. There was a confirmed tornado on the ground in Wilmington just about 30 minutes ago. That has pushed off toward the north and east. There's no active tornado warning, but there is a watch. You see that big box out for most of the Outer Banks. We continue to have that, and we're going to watch this closely for friends that are Eastern Carolina University, Wilmington, from Greenville up through Wilmington, North Carolina, North Topsail Beach. There was that observed tornado, which means it's on the ground, watching it right there, but thankfully that rotation has since weakened. Hey, the rain's weakening across the area. It's been a good steady light rain today across Greenville and Lawrence. Our Skycam networks and our Doppler radar gave us that instant look. Thankfully, we've not seen any of these watches toward Union, Lawrence, or Greenwood County turn into warnings. Now, the severe threat has been confined to the coast, and it's really right there on that east side of the eye wall. That's where the most unstable area is. It's also where the highest wind energy is. So the computer models here continue to show it looks like Charleston's going to be on the east side of the track, which is the worst side. Myrtle Beach is actually going to be on the west side. So Myrtle Beach may end up getting a little bit of a reprieve here. Still dangerous, storm surge, flooding, lots and lots of rain going on right now, and it's going to be windy. But it looks like as it moves through Myrtle Beach, those sustained winds of 60 or 65 miles per hour may be 10, 20 miles out to sea, since that eye looks to ride honestly right along the coast. The excessive rainfall outlook. This is always a problem when you get landfalling tropical systems. A high risk for flooding in these areas, and it's because of the rain. Look at these totals of additional rain likely. You have to think all these areas from Orangeburg north have already had 3-4 inches of rain. You add another 3 or 4. That brings the totals here for Lumberton and Wilmington to nearly 6 to 8 inches. So a lot of rain on the north side of this system. Thankfully in the western Carolinas, we've kind of been on the drier side. So how does this unfold? Well, let me show you the latest computer model showing we've got that eye wall continuing to press through Charleston now through 10 o'clock. Then it's approaching Myrtle Beach by about 11 o'clock. But Charleston, you're on the backside of that at that point. At that point, where Rashad just was, the wind's going to be pushing away from the land toward the ocean. So it'll actually be pushing that water back out. That'll help things tremendously. And then drier air is filtering in from the north. We will have a considerably different day tomorrow. The clouds will be gone, the sun will be shining, and the humidity will drop. It'll also be a lot cooler than we typically should be. So over the next 12 hours locally, expect those temperatures to drop into the upper 60s, with us beginning to clear out going into the morning hours tomorrow. A fantastic Labor Day weekend setting up. Tomorrow morning you'll wake up to the mid 60s in the upstate, the mid to upper 50s across the mountains. And that's not the coolest morning ahead. We're going to continue to see temperatures maybe dip a couple more degrees going into the weekend. Thank you for tuning in to our broadcast. We'll have another live broadcast at 9 o'clock tonight, keeping you up to date on top of the hour every hour here through the rest of the evening as Idalia moves through the Carolina coast.